I swore I'd never tell anyone what my family did to me. But after years of silence, I can't carry it alone anymore. Maybe I was wrong, maybe I deserved it, or maybe they ruined me forever.
Welcome to Reddit Toxic Family Telltales channel. New episode every day.
So, my sister shows up in the most unbelievable way. She literally drops her kids off at my front door and just leaves. Doesn't ask, doesn't check in, just demands I babysit them while she takes off on an 8-week vacation. 8 weeks. Who even does that? And when I told her no, when I threatened to call the police and report her for basically abandoning them, do you know what she did? She arranged to have me assaulted in my own home so she could swoop back in and take the kids. Yeah, that's the level of crazy we're talking about here. But honestly, I should have seen it coming. Because kids raised on a pedestal, raised as the golden child, they never grow up to be pure little angels like their parents imagine. No, they turn into exactly what my sister became. See, she was always the miracle kid, always the star, always the one who got her way, no matter how cruel, no matter how irrational she acted toward me. And the thing that helped her case the most? She was beautiful. Thick curly hair, light eyes, this glow my mom was obsessed with. Meanwhile, I had straight dark hair and dark eyes, and apparently that meant I could never measure up. My mom spent our whole lives comparing us, constantly reminding me, why can't you dress like your sister? Why don't you let her teach you makeup? Except when I actually asked my sister for help. She'd laugh in my face and mock me. And Mom? She'd just let it happen. So yeah, you can imagine how that shaped us. She became nastier and nastier, soaking up every toxic trait my mom displayed. And me? I just rejected all of it. But the damage was already done, being raised with those comparisons, being told in subtle and not so subtle ways that I was less. It shredded my self-esteem. I grew into this reserved, quiet adult who people describe as a pushover. And you know what? They're not wrong. That's why I'm in therapy now, learning how to finally actually stand up for myself. But the scars run deep. I mean, my sister even hooked up with my boyfriend back in high school, my senior year. And the kicker? She didn't even like him. She called him ugly, told me he wasn't her type. But she did it anyway just to hurt me. And my parents? Oh, they told me to let bygones be bygones. No punishment, no lectures, nothing. That was the first time I fully realized they would always pick her over me. Always. And my dad? He just watched. He let my mom tear into me my whole life without ever stepping in. It drilled this terrible thought into me. That no man would ever defend me. That no man would ever see my worth. And guess what? That thought followed me into adulthood. But here's the twist. It wasn't all bad. Because while my sister partied her way through high school, I had no social life, which meant I had nothing to do but study. And study I did. I graduated with a 4.0 and landed a full ride to my dream university. And I'll never forget, on the eve of high school, my mom flat out told me, I'm paying for your sister's college because she's the oldest. You'll have to figure yours out. Imagine being told, before you even start high school, that your mom won't invest in you because your sister came first. I cried that night and asked her why she didn't love me like she loved her. And she said she did love me, but my sister deserved it more. So when I finally got that scholarship, when I worked my butt off for something my sister couldn't just charm her way into, I was ecstatic. I thought maybe finally they'd see me. I rushed home, ready to share the biggest accomplishment of my life. My dad? All he said was, good job. My mom? She didn't even look up from her phone. Not only that, she ignored me for the rest of the week. Can you imagine your mom being angry at you for winning a scholarship? Most parents would be crying happy tears. Mine? She iced me out like I'd committed a crime. That was the moment I knew. I was truly, utterly alone. And so I made a choice. That night, I poured my rage into my journal until the sun came up. I decided that if my parents wouldn't give me love, I'd give myself success. I'd turn every ounce of pain into ambition. And I did. I graduated with honors, landed an internship, and by 23 I was making 6 figures. Me, the unwanted daughter. When I told my extended family, they'd congratulate me. But my parents? Silence. My mom especially. If anything, she seemed angrier at me the more I achieved. There was one Christmas dinner that still stings. My uncle congratulated me on my second promotion, asked about the house I was about to buy. Family members were kind, asking questions. And my mom? She cuts me off mid-conversation and says, this is boring. Can we talk about something else? Then under her breath, she mutters, it's probably not even true. Later, when I posted pictures of my new house online, every relative liked the post. Every single one except her. Meanwhile, my sister? She failed out of college, got pregnant by some guy she barely knew, then had another baby thinking it would fix their disaster of a relationship. Spoiler, it didn't. Every holiday, she'd waltz in with her deadbeat boyfriend, acting like royalty, and she never stopped insulting me. One Thanksgiving, the second I walked through the door, she looked me up and down and said, wow, dressed up again like the stuck-up witch you are. Who says that? In front of family? In front of her kids? So, no, I didn't feel guilty the day she dumped those same kids at my door without warning. I opened the door and saw 2 little boys, 10 and 7, standing there with overnight bags. Their mom? Nowhere to be seen. They told me she was going on vacation for 8 weeks. 8 weeks. And apparently, She said I'd be watching them. This, after she just insulted me at the 4th of July barbecue, telling me not to eat too much because she was sick of looking at my muffin top. I called her over and over until she finally answered. And I told her, flat out, if she didn't come pick up her kids immediately, I'd call Child Protective Services. And do you know what she did? She laughed and blackmailed me. She said she'd call my job, tell them I wasn't taking my medication, and get me fired. And the worst part? I believed her. Not because it was true, it wasn't, but because my career was everything to me. I had worked my entire life to have that stability, that independence, and she knew it. I hung up, panicked, wondering what to do. My mom? Of course, she sided with my sister. She told me I should be there for her, just this once. I snapped. I screamed at her. Name one time she's ever been there for me. Just one. Of course, she had no answer. When my mom finally came to my house, she looked at me with the same cold eyes she always had. And when I pushed for the truth about where my sister had actually gone, my mom confessed. My sister wasn't on a vacation. She was flying overseas to see her sugar daddy. I laughed at first, thinking it was a joke. But no, it was true. When I said it was disgusting, my mom shot back that I'd always be the ugly duckling. Born ugly, gonna die ugly. And when I tried to get her out of my house, she pushed me into my coffee table, shattering one of my favorite vases. I lost it. I screamed at her to get out. My poor nephews peeked their heads out of the room, terrified. It broke my heart. So I pulled myself together, ordered them some food, let them watch movies, tried to shield them from the chaos. But inside, I was wrecked. My sister kept threatening me, saying she'd ruin my career, saying I was nothing without it. And the worst part? She wasn't entirely wrong. I did tie my identity to my job. The only person I could turn to was my boyfriend, halfway across the world. I broke down crying on the phone with him, and he reminded me, what my sister was doing wasn't just wrong, it was illegal. He told me to record her threats as evidence. And that's exactly what I did. The next call, I kept my cool, led her into repeating it. And sure enough, she said it again. On recording. Nobody's going to believe you, she sneered. You're crazy. You don't deserve your job. But this time, I had her. I had proof. After I got that recording, I forced myself to calm down. I tucked my nephews into bed, kissed them goodnight, and tried to steady my racing heart. The next morning, before those boys even opened their eyes, I was already on the phone with CPS the moment their line opened. I laid it all out. Every ugly detail. How my sister had dumped her kids on me under false pretenses. How she threatened to blackmail me into compliance. How she'd abandoned them for weeks, with no concern for their safety. And then, I handed over the recording. The CPS agent actually paused after listening. You could hear the shift in their tone. They told me straight up, what my sister had done was not only neglect, it was a whole laundry list of crimes. Blackmail, abandonment, coercion. And they weren't wasting time. They'd be opening an investigation immediately. I hung up shaking, relief and terror all at once. I tried to decompress by spending the rest of the day with my nephews, watching cartoons, eating junk food, just giving them one day of peace. But then, my phone rang. It was my mom. And honestly, I don't know why I even picked up. Maybe because I was still so raw, so vulnerable. But I answered, and it exploded into another fight. I let it slip. I told her I had called CPS. I said my sister was finally going to face consequences for the way she treated me all these years. My mom went silent and hung up, and I knew she was immediately calling my sister. That night, I didn't sleep. My gut told me my sister was going to retaliate, and I was right. The next morning, I walk into work. My receptionist looks nervous and tells me my supervisor has scheduled a meeting before lunch. Urgent. That sinking feeling hit my stomach like a stone. I sat down in that room with two supervisors and a higher-up I'd never even met. All eyes on me, cold, suspicious. They told me they had been contacted by a trusted family source who claimed I was severely mentally ill, off my medication, and at risk of a psychotic break inside the office. And of course, I knew exactly who it was. But here's the thing. My sister underestimated me. She thought she could blindside me, humiliate me, cost me everything. What she didn't know was I came prepared. I calmly opened my briefcase and handed each of them a neat, organized packet. Letters from my doctor, my psychiatrist, my therapist. Years of documentation proving I had never missed a prescription, never skipped an appointment. My entire record of stability laid out in black and white. They read through it. Their expressions softened. And then they apologized. They actually apologized for doubting me. One supervisor even took the opportunity to brag about my stellar quarterly performance, right there in front of the higher-up. I left that meeting giggling. Imagine walking into a trap your sister set, only to come out of it looking like Employee of the Year. Her plan didn't just fail, it backfired so hard it boosted my reputation. So, of course, the moment I got to my car, I called her. I told her how her little scheme had crumbled in 15 minutes flat, how my bosses never even bought her lies. I laughed so hard I nearly cried, telling her she failed at trying to ruin me, just like she failed at basically everything else. She went ballistic, screaming, cursing, calling me every name she could spit out. She swore she was flying back immediately and promised I'd regret crossing her. And that's when it hit me. For the first time, I was actually scared. My sister had nothing left to lose. And when people like her feel cornered, that's when they're most dangerous. Couldn't sleep that night. Not because of me, but because of the boys. My nephews had finally started to feel safe in my home, and now all I could picture was them being dragged back into chaos. And then it happened. At 8 a.m., hours before CPS was scheduled to come by, I heard pounding on my front door. Not a knock. Pounding. Like someone slapping a sandbag against the wood. When I opened it, my stomach dropped. There was my sister, my mother behind her, and beside them, a massive man, easily 6 feet 5 inches, close to 300 pounds. One of his hands was the size of my entire head. Before I could even speak, he shoved me down hard onto the floor and stormed inside with them. I was screaming. At my mom, at my sister, at the stranger who barely spoke English. My nephews, still rubbing their sleepy eyes, stumbled out of the guest room and froze when they saw the chaos. Then it got worse. My sister barked at the man to grab the kids. My nephews, my sweet nephews, cried and begged to stay with me. I tried to pull the oldest out of his grip, but the man slammed my head against the wall. Stars exploded in my vision as I crumpled down, helpless, watching him carry the boys out. My mom trailed after them, crying. And my sister, my lovely sister, spat right in my face before she walked out. They left in a big black Suburban I didn't recognize. The kids had no shoes, no breakfast, no switches, no stuffed animals, nothing. I sat there on the floor, shaking, broken vase shards still on the carpet, and had a full-blown panic attack. My chest locked up, my vision blurred. But once I could breathe again, I knew what I had to do. I called the police, gave them everything, descriptions, outfits, every single number and letter from the license plate. And by some miracle, my detail-oriented brain pulled it all back. And thank God it did, because hours later, the police found them. They surrounded the Suburban with 3 squad cars. The man, this giant, actually attacked officers. He punched 2 of them, gave one woman a black eye, and had to be shot in the thigh before they could take him down. My sister? She jumped in too, tried fighting the officer who cuffed her. I was on the phone when they told me. I almost couldn't believe it was real. Like, this wasn't just drama anymore. This was an actual highway brawl between my sister, her mystery thug, and the police. And then the officer told me my sister had used her one phone call on me. I laughed, because of course she did. She wanted bail money, and I told him flat out, no, she could rot. My nephews were safe in CPS care, but my heart still ached. I cried at night, holding the little stuffed dog my youngest had left behind. And I told myself, I couldn't stop here. I wasn't going to lose them. So when CPS finally called weeks later, saying they'd officially removed my sister's custody, and would only consider giving the boys back if a suitable relative stepped forward, I knew exactly what I had to do. I hired the best lawyer I could afford, and I filed for custody of my nephews. Because no matter how long it took, no matter how much it cost, I wasn't going to let my sister destroy those boys the way my mom destroyed me. Before the custody hearings even began, another case had to be handled first. My lawsuit against my sister for breaking into my home. Now, I know some people will probably side-eye me for dragging my own flesh and blood into court. But listen, after everything she did, I would have fist-fought her in a Wendy's parking lot if it came down to it. No joke. But I knew better. I had to go through the legal system if I ever wanted a real chance at custody of my nephews. That was the goal. That was the only thing that mattered. So there I was, in court, face-to-face with my sister for the first time since that nightmare day. The last memory I had of her was me on the ground, broken vase beside me, looking up as she spit directly in my face. That was our final exchange. So yeah, you could say the reunion wasn't exactly warm. The trial started. Evidence, witnesses, paperwork, the usual grind. But then the judge brought up something that changed everything. He casually mentioned my custody petition. Apparently, my sister's public defender had failed to mention that little detail to her. So right there, in the middle of open court, my sister found out I was gunning for full custody of her kids. And if you think she took it well, oh no, her eyes snapped to me. She shifted her whole body around, called my name in this guttural scream, and then she lunged, like a feral animal. She clawed at my face, yanked my hair, tried to rip chunks of me out with her bare hands. The bailiff rushed in, but not before she sank her teeth hard into my forearm. And let me tell you, that was one of the worst pains I have ever felt. Blood welled up instantly, and later it got so badly infected I needed treatment. All of this, happening in front of the judge, lawyers, clerks, a whole courtroom of people watching. And in that moment, I knew she just destroyed whatever slim chance she had left. It took almost 2 years, months and months of stacked charges, hearings, delays, for everything to finally catch up to her. But when the gavel finally came down, my sister was gone for good, locked away on a life sentence. She had piled up so many crimes that even her chances for appeal were paper thin. She wasn't getting out. Not now, not ever. And my mother? Oh, she didn't skate away untouched either. I refused to drop the breaking and entering charges against her. The only reason she didn't join her daughter behind bars was because she flipped. She turned on my sister, testifying against her in open court, crocodile tears rolling down her cheeks as she blamed everything on her golden child. And I'll admit, I savored that moment. After a lifetime of being cast aside, I got to watch my mother betray the daughter she always worshipped. It was like watching a crown slip off a queen's head, one slow, humiliating inch at a time. That was the last time I ever saw her. The last time I ever wanted to see her. But just because my sister was gone didn't mean my fight was over. No, the custody battle for my nephews was just beginning. Their birth father and his family suddenly decided they wanted in. They pushed back hard, dragging the case out as long as possible. Court dates piled up. Hearings stretched on and on. But nothing was going to stop me. Almost 2 grueling years later, it finally happened. I won. Full custody. The day my nephews came home will forever be the brightest memory of my life. Their faces when they walked into their new bedrooms. The walls painted. The beds neatly made. Little personal touches everywhere. It lit up my soul. My youngest spotted his Nintendo Switch sitting on his shelf. His eyes went wide, and then I pulled out his little plush dog, the one he'd been forced to leave behind. He ran into my arms so hard we nearly toppled over. I held him close, felt his tiny body shaking as he cried. And then my oldest joined in. He buried his face into my hair, his tears soaking my shoulder. Then he pulled back, looked me dead in the eyes and said, through his tears, "I knew it, Auntie. I just knew you'd come back for us one day." And in that moment, every fight, every scar, every sleepless night, it was all worth it.
Thanks for watching. Today's train wreck is over, but tomorrow's ride is already on track. Subscribe so you don't miss it.